station around NRG Stadium, and they were able to step in immediately when reports of incident occurred. So to Chief Pena, to his entire team, to HFD, to EMS, I do want to acknowledge their very quick response. And then from the moment, for example, the reports were made known in terms of people falling, injured, let's say roughly at about 9:30, this event came to an end at 10 minutes after 10 is when everything stopped. And people were in between, either seen on the site or they were transported to area hospitals. So I do want to acknowledge the very quick response EMS units and the fact that this event did come to an end at 10:10. And we do want a very, will be nonstop in terms of the review of this particular matter. Now, Chief of Family.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Mayor said it. We want to send condolences to the family. Nobody, as everybody's hurting, our police department, our fire department, all our citizens, nobody's hurting more than the family members. And our prayers go out to them. And I ask the whole nation, because I know as other news media here, not just local, to pray for the family. I want to go over a few things. Last night I put out some numbers in terms of security, police officers and private security. I gave the number of 367 police officers. That number was the number that we had assigned for the evening shift. We actually had 528 because we held over day shift officers. Live Nation has just reported to us that they had 755 security officers. A lot of security out there. But as everyone is saying, we leave no stones unturned. This has not happened to us ever in Houston since I've been a police officer, and we take pride of it. And we're going to get down to the bottom. A lot of narratives out there right now, a lot of them on social media, and even last night. I think that all of us need to be respectful of the families and make sure that we follow the facts and the evidence. And that's what we're trying to do here in the Houston Police Department. I will tell you, one of the narratives was that some individual was injecting other people with drugs. We do have a report of a security officer, according to the medical staff that was out and treated him last night, that he was reaching over to restrain or grab a citizen, and he felt a prick in his neck. When he was examined, he went unconscious. They administered Narcan. He was revived, and the medical staff did notice a prick that was similar to a prick that you would get if somebody's trying to inject. That is one part of it. The other thing that's very important, there were some individuals that were trampled, and we want to be respectful of that. But we just ask that y'all give us time to do a proper investigation. Live Nation has stated from the very beginning that they would cooperate. They're going to give us the video sometime this evening. I spoke to my commander in homicide. So we're waiting to get that. That's going to help us. But I also want to call out to the community, kids and young individuals that was out there. If you've seen something, say something. This is now a criminal investigation that's going to involve our homicide division as well as narcotics. And we're going to get down to the bottom of it. I just want to thank Live Nation and everybody else out there. There was cooperation. I also want to say thanks to our police officers. A lot of them administered CPR. Executive Chief Larry Satterwhite was out there. And something that was important, and the mayor just said it, but I want to hit it again. 9:30, right there. That's when a few people started going down. Our people stepped up and immediately went to the producers and told them, hey, people are going down. This show ended at 10:10 p.m. So I just want to acknowledge that. As far as arrests last night, 25 arrests. 23 of those 25 were trespassing. 1 possession of marijuana and 1 public intoxication. So we'll just open it up for questions after. Chief Pena, go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to first start by expressing my most sincere condolences to the families of the victims. This is an unimaginable tragedy that they are experiencing. And it's because of that we're committed to work with our partners, the police department and everybody else, in full investigation into the cause of this tragedy. Know that the Houston Fire Department, we're going to be looking into the permits that were issued and ensuring that the plan that was submitted was adhered to during the event. This is going to be part of the investigation. Our commitment is to ensure that we are turning every stone, as was mentioned here earlier by the mayor, to ensure that we get to the bottom of this issue. The Houston Fire Department, we had a very robust contingency and emergency response plan. The primary medical component was delivered by a third-party medical company for the venue. The security was the same. It was a third-party company that was delivering the security primarily for that venue. In spite of that, we did have units that were pre-positioned from the Houston Fire Department to ensure that we were monitoring the progress and the event. From the time, as Mayor mentioned, from the time that the incident started to escalate around 9:30, we requested additional resources to the scene to augment those that were already pre-positioned around that venue. And this is important. Even though the plan did not require for that, we had pre-positioned units around the venue in case this incident escalated. From the time that the mass casualty incident was declared to the first unit on scene was 2 minutes when we began to make patient contact. That is an incredible response, and look, that can't go unnoticed. As far as the planning, we here in the city of Houston take these events very seriously. Public safety is our primary concern. The mayor has tasked us with ensuring that we have the resources and the plans and the contingencies ready for these events. We've done these before. I believe we had a robust plan for a non-event. Certainly, the level of injuries, the number of people in that venue quickly overwhelmed the third-party vendors that were providing the security and the medical component. We quickly were able to respond. In regards to the layout, there is no occupancy permit for an outdoor event. Okay, what the calculation for the footprint that was going to be used for the event, if we applied the assembly occupancy, the fire code assembly occupancy formula, they could have had over 200,000 people in this venue. Okay, that's just based on math. This venue was limited to 50,000 in that component. Part of when we have large events, one of the things that we consider is to ensure that the crowds are subdivided. They had 2 separate stages in 2 separate areas. That was part of the plan. We had inspectors to ensure that the means of egress, the doors in and out of that venue, were maintained open and unobstructed. Okay, these injuries did not occur as people would try to exit the venue, and that was evident by the fact that once the event was terminated, that whole footprint was cleared out within the hour, 50,000. So the means of egress, okay, the exits, the doors were kept open, unobstructed. That was our assurance. What we're looking into is what caused the crowd surge, what led to the crowd surge and those incidents at the point of where the concert was being at, the stage. So again, our role in this is to participate with the police department. We are going to be looking at the films and the video as Chief Finner mentioned, and we're going to ensure that the items that should have been in place were in place and that we learned from this event. Really quick, Mayor, the permits that were issued for this were for LPG, and we had inspectors there to monitor that. We had a permit for the pyrotechnics. Inspectors were on scene for that. We had a permit for tents that were erected in the venue. We had inspectors for that. And we had inspectors for the permits for the means of egress, to maintain the means of egress, the doors in and out of that venue to be open and unobstructed, and we had inspectors for that. But again, we're going to be looking at the entire incident to ensure that that we're doing the right thing for these families. They deserve it. We owe it to them, and we're going to participate wholly. Thank you, ma'am.
Muy brevemente en español, agradecerle primero al alcalde, al jefe de policías, jefe de bomberos, tantos policías y bomberos que respondieron de una manera inmediata, y los buenos samaritanos. No cabe duda que sin buenos samaritanos, sin estos policías, la tragedia habría sido aún peor. Esta es una tragedia de escala extrema. Es un artista reconocido internacionalmente y un artista que atrae a muchísimos jóvenes. Cuando leemos las edades de los muertos, 14, 16, 21, 23 y 27, y un muchacho que aún no está identificado, se te parte el corazón de ver que estos